evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ripon. The ceremony you've just witnessed is the setting of the watch. It dates back to 876, making it 1138 years-ish old. It holds the record for being the longest standing, still going tradition in the world. It is now my duty to give you the story, the tale, if that is what you would like. If not, feel free to leave. As I said, in 876, King Alfred the Great paid a visit to Ripon. Ripon would only have been a settlement at this stage, based around a monastery, and not the city that it is today. He paid an impromptu visit, so didn't come with any paperwork or documents, and decided he would bestow upon the settlement a royal charter. So he took from one of his soldiers a horn and made that the emblem of said charter. We still have that horn today and is known as the Charter Horn. It is in the fine building behind you, locked away in the safe, wrapped in velvet and capped off with silver. The elders at the time decided that they would put the horn to good use, and that they would form the job of wakeman. And the wakeman's job was to obviously blast the horn at the darkest hour if there was an invasion of the Vikings. Remember, they were knocking around at the time, doing a lot of pillaging. As the years went on, it was realised that he couldn't do it on his own, and that he raised a hornblower and some constables. The hornblower obviously still exists to this day. The constables patrolled the town, and the hornblower did the physical blowing and setting of the watch, and the wakeman became the senior man of the settlement. A bit mafioso-ish, really, I would have thought. They were said that they ruled Ripon with a rod of iron. They were allowed to levy a tax, and on this tax was a door tax, and it was 4 shillings for a front facing into the square door, or for 4 shillings, and 2 shillings for side and rear. Why, I don't know. I'm still trying to do the research on that one. Obviously, if you had a front facing, you were posher. As for fines and the likes, he would raise fines if you were caught drunk and disorderly, chicken thieves, whatever, all these sort of minor crimes. But one of the joys of paying fines and taxes was that if you could prove that on the wakeman's watch your chicken was stolen, then the wakeman had to pay back whatever your losses were. So Ripon, well ahead of its time, its own police force and its own insurance policy. This went on through in the Middle Ages, and as I said, they ruled the place with a rod of iron and became very powerful. The wakeman was voted in on a yearly basis by his peer group, so he probably never actually left the job. The next visitor was a chap called James I of England, 6th of Scotland, and he'd heard through his government that the wakeman had become a very powerful figure in the north and held a lot of sway. So he wanted to come up here and nip that. So he arrived with an actual document of the next royal charter, and in that royal charter it declared that Ripon was a mayoralty. So it would have a mayor, and it would have an official police force and an official government, and it would be voted in with an officialdom. The horn, as I said, is still the official emblem of Ripon. You may have noticed that at the end of when I blew the horn, to a fashion, and I pointed my hat in the corner of the little house which is known as the Wakeman's House. Nowadays a very fine cafe, I gather, and has been for a few years. But it is said that if Mr. Hugh Ripley, the last Wakeman, the first mayor, is not happy, then he will show his face in that top window. Luckily, that lamppost covers that window and I can't see it. So if you see him, keep it to yourself. Because it is said that pestilence will form on Ripon if there is a bum note and he's not happy. I gather back in 2011 there was a minor earthquake the following day. So if there's one tomorrow, you know it was my fault. There are 4 hornblowers. I am the newest, and this was my first weekend, my inaugural weekend. So I'm trying to keep my mouthpiece warm to make the horn blow better. Hopefully it'll be far better if you ever come in about a year's time or something.